Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So we have a massive shipment from Esports Tiger. We have all of their new mouse pads, and I am very excited about a lot of these pads. I kind of got a little too excited and already unboxed 2 or 3 of the pads, including this glass pad that you see here on front. This is the Pink Lotus. I think that this pad in particular actually does have a very unique and very cool aesthetic to it, and it just feels really good. It almost reminds me of the Razer Atlas pad, but not quite as kind of coated or slow feeling. I think out of the box, it does actually feel really nice for a glass pad. And it's pretty sick to think that Esports Tiger now is coming out with glass pads, because if we can get all of their designs on this type of a surface, it really is the perfect platform, and one that if you like a piece of artwork would last forever. The Pink Lotus pad actually also comes with a copy of their new skates. These are pink dots, and you can see that the dots actually come in different sizes, which I think is a really cool idea. But if you order a glass pad from Esports Tiger, you will get a copy of the skates in the box as well. And just to show you guys the base on the glass pad, it actually is a solid, sleek, flat piece of rubber. I think it actually looks cool and feels really cool as well. The next pad I want to show you guys is the Esports Tiger He 2. This I also already took out of the box because I'm kind of a sucker for galaxy themes. The pad's pretty cool. The stitching is very high quality, nice rounded edges. The surface is actually a lot higher than the stitching. The base is similar to what is on the glass pad, and it does stay very firmly on my desk. It takes quite a bit of effort to get the thing to move. So something that to me feels kind of like what the performance of the hybrid Equate Plus V2 offers. It's something that is going to remain consistent, something that is pretty quick on dynamic and has a nice static friction as well with no mud or tug. The abrasiveness is a little bit higher than something like the Equate Plus V2, but I think if anybody loves galaxy themes, likes that consistency of that type of surface like I do, I really enjoyed the Equate Plus V2. This surface, with the foam density being quite soft, the thickness being 4 millimeters, this is a pretty damn nice pad. They call the coating a glass glaze and the material random pattern fibers. So far, I think the speed to me feels actually really nice. And the cool thing about Esports Tiger also is they actually do show you kind of a speed graph with different versions of skates. Here, particularly the Tiger Ice skates on the G Pro Superlight. All right, and I got a little excited. I opened 2 other pads. This is the Esports Tiger Feng Ling. This is a 4 millimeter thickness, and it is a Poron pad. The material is a plain woven fiber as described by Esports Tiger. This feels like what you would expect of a kind of a typical cloth pad, kind of like a lethal Saturn Pro type of a pad. I think it's going to be a very good surface for a lot of people who are looking for something for tack shooters. It is definitely feels as though there's a little bit more control on static friction compared to the He 2, the hybrid pad that we just looked at. Overall, though, a really smooth surface with that 4 millimeter Poron foam that feels really nice. The next pad is the Wu Ji. This is a little bit, it has a little bit more of an abrasiveness to the smoothness of the Feng Ling. I really like the feeling of this pad. This could be something really special. This is a 4 millimeter pad as well. Plain weave fiber is listed as the material. This is actually not Poron. This is what they have listed as EP base. But look how cool that base is with the Esports Tiger kind of imprinted there on the back. I think that is so dope. And it actually feels really nice, even though it is not Poron for this particular pad. Not quite as squishy as the Poron on the Feng Ling, but this is really nice. The speed of this, I'm definitely going to be taking this one in game probably first. Getting to the other pads, this is the Esports Tiger Kun Lun. And let's get this bad boy open, show you guys a little bit of that unboxing experience that you're getting here. All of these pads are flat shipped, which of course is a nice plus. Pull this one out of here. You can see each of these comes with a little description of their speed, their materials, the thickness. And now that we have it out of the box, you guys can see the pad itself. It actually is another hybrid surface. It is a Poron base. So you have what I would definitely say is reminiscent to an Xsoft base by Artisan. This pad actually feels really nice. This is pretty consistent feeling between X and Y. Y feeling maybe a little bit slower. Initial friction is fairly low, but not too low, so it doesn't take much effort to get the mouse moving. Static friction feels really nice and open. No tug at all. This, to me, actually seems like it would be a really nice pad and definitely feels like a refreshing hybrid surface. I don't feel like I've felt something like this. It's very different than the Equate Plus V2, very different from in Aqua Control 2. This actually feels really nice. And taking a look at the Tang Dao, let's get this one cracked open. Kind of fun to unbox all these. Again, they all come flat shipped. The packaging is definitely pretty high quality in terms of all of the aesthetics. I'm going to have fun cleaning all this up later. But this is another Poron base. Let's get this one out. Oh, wow. This almost looks like, just like looking at it, it almost looks like a Artisan Zero. Ooh, man, okay. This feels really nice. It looks almost like an Artisan Zero, what you expect from that cloth surface look. It has a little bit of a texture, kind of like the Zero has. It definitely feels really nice in terms of static friction, feeling open. Initial friction, again, not really all that high, but not too low either to feel somewhat uncontrollable. But man, dynamic friction. Once you get the mouse moving, it actually feels nice and smooth and fast. And then getting it back down to static friction, you definitely get that control, but it's nice and open. You don't get too much of a sense of mud, but it definitely feels nice and controlled on static movements. So far, all of these pads have felt pretty damn nice and actually pretty unique in terms of the fabric chosen with the mix of Poron. I think the little logo too on the top right actually does look really nice as well. Or if it goes on the bottom left, I'm not too sure. But overall, a really nice clean package with really nice stitching. The fabric on the surface itself is above the stitching. Everything here is a really high quality package. And up next, we have the Esports Tiger Lei Ling. And then after this, I'll get into kind of just like off my first impressions, which one I kind of am leaning towards the most. I think right now the Galaxy pad and the Kun Lun to me feel pretty damn nice. But let's see what is going on with the Lei Ling. This is another Poron pad, similar logo, but in yellow. Base, again, just does not move at all. It is 4mm, same quality on the stitching. In terms of the material, it says it is a regular pattern jacquard. I think that this, again, feels like a nice quality hybrid pad. X and Y feel close enough to not notice too much of a difference. It's got a little bit of a texture to it, but not too much. When you're moving the mouse, it really does feel nice and smooth. Just another solid pad that has a fairly unique feeling surface. And getting to the one that I am pretty excited for, this is the She Jia Pink. This is the first Poron pad that has an actual design on it. Let's get this bad boy cracked open. That is pretty damn cool. This is 3mm thick, but it does really dig in quite well in terms of the quality of the Poron. The surface itself, definitely a low initial friction. Dynamic friction, again, first of all, the whole surface itself feels very, very smooth. Dynamic friction feels pretty quick, and when you get down to static, you do get a nice sense of control. I don't feel any sense of real tug or mud, but static does feel really nice and controlled, and then when you start getting going, it does feel quite nice. And then looking at the other design that they have on the Poron pad, this is the She Jia Purple. It's probably a very similar pad, just a different design or different color. But let's get this thing out of here. Manhandling all the contents here. Okay, yeah, definitely a very different design than the She Jia Pink. In terms of the speed, also a little bit different, at least in terms of their graph. This feels like a kind of like a typical cloth pad on top of a Poron, but This actually feels really nice as well. It is definitely nice, open, and quick on dynamic. Static feels a little bit more controlled when you get down to it, but pretty similar in speed, I would say, as the Pink. And last but not least, we have the Tang Dao Pink. Let's get this cracked open. Oh, wow. This one actually is an all pink pad. It actually almost has like a frosty whiteness to it. But this is definitely a Poron. The base here is actually a little bit different. This is, let's see what they refer to as the base here. It is a Poron anti-slip mirror surface. And the material on top is listed as a plain woven fiber. But man, this base is actually pretty damn cool. I've not quite seen this used. I mean, this thing just sticks to my desk. The surface here actually feels pretty nice, a little bit slower, I would say, on dynamic than the others. At least you can feel a little bit more of it on that dynamic. Static is definitely a little bit more controlled as well. So definitely more slow than some of the other ones that we've looked at, but doesn't feel like a mud pad or a tuggy pad. Definitely a nice open surface that feels pretty damn good if you're looking for kind of like a balanced leaning towards control pad and something in pink. This thing is just classy as heck, and that base is extremely cool. Now, the ones I am probably most excited about are the Galaxy pad. This just feels really nice and smooth and consistent to me, and it just has a really cool look with that shiny effect over the Galaxy look. I'm kind of a sucker for the Galaxy stuff, so I definitely want to try that. The second one that I think I'm kind of most leaning towards was the one with the orange logo. Sorry, guys, I can't remember all the names just after the unboxing, but this pad just feels. I mean, this fabric here on this orange logo one is just exceptionally good. I can already see this potentially being a favorite pad for me. This other one with the white logo that was quite kind of similar to that hybrid surface that I like. It is a little bit more kind of like prickly, like a hien. Not really too bad once you're in motion. This I actually think is going to be a really awesome pad that feels like it has quite a lot of nice control for static movements, and then kind of opens up and actually feels smooth over that surface on dynamic. The next one I really, really like is the one that is similar to, and I think it's the similar to the one in pink, but this is kind of like your Artisan Zero in just appearance and feel. It's quite different when you start actually touching the surface, but when you start moving your mouse, it just feels so smooth and nice on dynamic, and then once you get to static, it feels kind of nice and controlled. A pretty awesome surface, especially for anybody looking for a Poron that is similar to maybe the Zero. And of course, the one with an actual full design on a 3mm Poron surface. This is pretty damn cool. I think this is just going to be awesome to use on stream and feels extremely good as well. I actually have one more that I forgot about, and I think it's going to be basically the same thing as the pad with the custom design, just in a larger surface. It is not a Poron, probably not a good idea to do Poron on something quite this large, but it is a similar design. It's actually both the pink and the purple. Long desk pad, and feels pretty damn great if you are somebody who likes a little bit more of a firmer surface with a pretty cool design over your desktop. Very wide and enough distance here on height as well. It actually looks pretty cool. And of course, I'm pretty excited about their glass pad as well. I think glass pads for Esports Tiger are going to be a hit just because their artwork over time has been absolutely phenomenal. And the overall glass pad itself actually does feel really nice rounded edges, a cool base on the bottom. I think so far I can not really tell that it is sticking too bad on my skin in my pretty humid climate and hot room. Overall, I do think that all of these Esports Tiger pads have offered a huge variation among one another, which is pretty impressive considering the fact of how much volume they're pumping out in terms of new pads. I'm going to get all these tested. It's going to be a lot of testing, so don't expect any final reviews or full reviews anytime soon. But I am going to be testing these on stream starting tonight. I hope that helped, guys. If it did, please leave a sub to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next review. Peace.